Give us the details, Keri.
Well, we have reported previously that Deutsche Bank had found what was $6 billion in suspected trades, which were known as mirror trades. And they're kind of these magical instruments where you can instantly convert a ruble equity holding into a dollar equity holding, and it ends up going from Moscow to Russia, really just with like a push of a button. So they're perfectly legal. However, mirror trades, and now an additional $4 billion in what looks like one-way probably buy orders that have been discovered through Deutsche Bank's own internal investigation, have showed up as maybe not going through all of the compliance protocols and have been linked to some of Putin's allies, including some of his best friends, which he's known for doing judo with, and all sorts of good stuff.
So Deutsche found this. Deutsche,
the Rotenbergs.
I just want you to. It wasn't the regulators that found it. It was Deutsche that found it and turned themselves in?
The Russian central bank actually tipped Deutsche Bank off about some suspected accounts that they had. Deutsche Bank then went in and took a very close look at their Russian operations. And when you do that, basically you don't really want to find anything like this. You don't want to find 10 billion in trades that may not have gone through compliance very well.
And it's not going through compliance, but the concern here is straight out money laundering. You've got rubles in Russia, and you want to convert them into dollars and not have anybody trace it. That is
absolutely the concern, and that's why the Department of Justice opened up an inquiry on this. Is our Russian clients of Deutsche Bank using these trades, whether it's the one-way trades or the mirror trades, to move money out of Russia to circumvent anti-money laundering controls, or possibly even sanctions, now that we have a sanctions issue with Russia?
So this is what I don't understand about your alma mater, not to cast aspersions, but if you're a big bank doing business in Moscow, and there's billions of dollars being traded, the possibility of money laundering might cross your mind.
I mean, KYC.
It's not that subtle.
Those know your client barriers, those hurdles that you have to go through are the first order of business before you pick up the phone and say, good morning, Deutsche Bank, how may I be of service?
And I think we've seen this across the board with banks on Wall Street, right, Megan? I mean, we've seen HSBC, we've seen investigations
Standard Charter. I mean, let's go through the whole list. I mean, I think with Deutsche, one of the things that's so interesting about this story is how big is it going to get? How broad is it going to go? Who's going to have known what when? I mean, this is a bank which is still dealing with a litany of scandals. A big part of the reason Nancy Jane departed, and now it's trying to recast this and settle some of these skeletons. But this story seems to not be getting smaller. It seems to be getting bigger, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how big it eventually goes.
Yeah, and they have paid an enormous amount in fines for various infractions over just the last year. And banks in general on Wall Street have been paying fines, pleading guilty, and getting in all sorts of trouble. And when they continue to happen, you kind of have to wonder what happens to repeat offenders at this point.
Well, so far nothing's been happening, but I keep coming back to the size issue. Aside from the fact that the honor system doesn't really work, are these banks just too big, too complex, that they're unmonitorable? Is it impossible to stay on top of trillions of dollars moving in and out of some of these really giant institutions?
And when did these trades take place?
These trades took place starting around 2012 through 2015. So these are not old trades. I mean, this is stuff that has been
But they're pre-sanctioned trades, aren't they?
From what we understand, these trades did not happen during the sanctions, but that is one of definitely the things that they're looking very closely at, yes.
Okay, Bloomberg's Keri Geiger, thank you very much for being with us.